Good morning, children. It sounds so simple, right? But with just those three words, a teacher isn't just starting the day, they're building an entire world of learning. And as we're about to see, that world is constructed brick by brick, phrase by simple phrase. So, yeah, today we're diving deep into the incredible power of language in the classroom. We're going to break down how these specific, everyday phrases aren't just instructions. No, they're the actual tools a teacher uses to build a classroom that's focused, participatory, and maybe even a little bit fearless. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? You might think it's the fancy tech or the perfect curriculum, but what if the real foundation is something way simpler? What if it all just boils down to the words we use? Let's explore how a teacher's language might just be the most powerful tool they have. Okay, so think of every day in a classroom like a little journey. And any good journey starts with, setting the stage, right? This first part is all about that, creating an atmosphere where kids can actually learn. And it starts with phrases that build a solid routine. Now, what's so cool about this is that these commands, they're doing so much more than you'd think. Phrases like sit properly, please, or please pay attention, they're not just about control. They're these polite, super clear signals that, hey, we're shifting gears now. It's like flipping a switch from chatting with friends mode to learning mode. It's that little daily ritual that just says, all right, let's do this. All right, so once everyone's settled in, it's time to get into the real meat of the lesson. And this is where the language has to be super, super precise. These phrases, they're like the scaffolding on a building. They're the clear, practical instructions that hold the whole thing up. You can almost see the lesson unfolding here, can't you? First, open the book, then focus on the board, then listen, and finally write. The words a teacher uses here have to be crystal clear. There's just no room for confusion. That kind of precision is everything, because it makes sure every single student is right there with you, on the same page, literally. So the whole lesson just flows smoothly. But look, a great classroom isn't a lecture hall where kids just sit and listen, right? It's about doing. And this is where things get really interesting. The whole dynamic shifts. So let's see how a teacher's words can actually turn kids from just an audience into active players in their own learning. This one question, it's such a game changer. It's a total pivot point. It's not a command, it's an invitation. Suddenly, it's not a one-way street anymore. It's a two-way conversation. It's the teacher saying, hey, your voice matters here. What you think is important. This is how you start to unlock all the brain power in the room. And of course, once you invite everyone to talk, you need some ground rules. Otherwise, it's chaos. This shows exactly how you manage it. It's not a free-for-all. The teacher uses simple structures, raise your hand, to make sure it's fair and orderly. And they push for better answers, like using complete sentences. This creates a really respectful space where everyone actually gets a chance to be heard. Okay, now we're getting to what I think is maybe the most crucial part of this whole thing. Seriously, how do you create a room where kids feel safe enough to take a risk, to try something and maybe get it wrong? Well, it all boils down to one thing, the language of psychological safety. This slide, this is huge. On one side, you've got the biggest enemies of learning, fear of messing up, fear of speaking out. And on the other side, you've got the verbal medicine, the antidotes. I mean, a phrase like, this classroom has no laughing tax. How great is that? It directly takes on that fear of being made fun of. It's just a powerful, powerful way to say, you are safe here. Just let that sink in for a second. This philosophy completely changes the game. The goal isn't just getting the right answer anymore. The goal is engagement. A teacher using this phrase is telling their students, look, just trying is more important than being right. It's an invitation to take a guess, to share a thought, to make an attempt, because literally anything is better than the silence that comes from being afraid. And then there's this. The teacher actually shows they're human too, by saying, hey, even I make mistakes. They make it normal for everyone. All that pressure to be perfect, it just melts away. It's a way of saying, it's okay, we're all in this together, we're all learning, even me. And man, that's a huge way to build trust. This just builds on that perfectly, doesn't it? It spells it out. Mistakes aren't failures. They are a necessary part of learning. It's like giving students official permission to be a little messy, to not know everything right away. Today's mistake is just a stepping stone to figuring it out tomorrow. And really, this is the ultimate goal, isn't it? All of this language, all this effort to create a safe space, it's all leading to this one big shift, turning a subject that might seem scary, like English, into a friend. something you can tackle, not something you have to fear. It completely reframes the whole experience. So as our little day in the classroom starts to wrap up, the language changes one more time. Now the focus is all on reinforcing all that hard work, celebrating how far the kids have come, and just ending the day on a real high note. Anyone can say, good job. And that's nice, sure, but specific praise, that's way more powerful. Think about the difference between good job and wow, you are improving day by day. One is a pat on the back, the other recognizes the whole journey. And I love this last one, clap for yourself. What a great way to get kids to see and be proud of their own work. And hey, let's be real. Sometimes the most important phrase has nothing to do with the lesson. Just saying, time to play is huge. It shows the kids that their well-being matters, that it's not all about work. A great classroom has to have that balance, right? Between focus and fun. Because yeah, learning is crucial, but so is just being a kid. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? See you tomorrow. But those words are actually a promise. They create this sense of stability and consistency. It wraps up the day nicely and kind of gets you excited for the next one. It's a small way of saying, hey, we're not done. Our journey continues. So we've kind of come full circle, back to the power of simple words. We went from good morning all the way to mistakes are part of learning. And I hope you can see now that language isn't just how we teach, it's how we build the entire world where learning can even happen. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. Think about your own world, at school, at your job, even at home. What's the one phrase you could use to change it?